Need to improve your club on Ultimate Team? Check out auziomf for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Get an extra 5% discount with code NA.
What's good, y'all? In this video, I'm going to show you guys the 4-4-2, a counter-attacking formation that I've made. And this formation is primarily focused on being really dominant in the counter-attack. The moment you get the ball, you notice that a lot of forward runs are being made by your team. So if you love to be quick and clinical in counter-attacks, or if you just love to pace abuse, this formation is going to be perfect for you. And going straight into the tactics, I have it set to attacking. And straight off the bat, you'll notice balanced defending style, and 45 width with 65 depth. I wanted the depth to be a little bit higher, but to be honest, I'm not seeing much of a difference between 60 to 70 or 60 to 69 to be precise. Primarily because there's not really much difference in small increments. Primarily because these are only really these are no different than out of 10 really, because once you get to 70 or 71 to be precise, you get the 71 depth benefit obviously, but then from here I'm explaining too much really, but you're not going to see much of a difference. So I just picked 65, but honestly you can do 71 if you wanted the high depth benefit, or you can just do 60. I just did 65 to see if I could find something new, but I couldn't really. So 60, 65, I have 65. 45 primarily because I found 45 to be the perfect amount where your team's not gonna have too much of an issue defending when the other team switches the ball, and it's narrow enough, perfect, so you're not gonna be dealing with too many holes in your defense in the middle. So 45, honestly, 45 works on literally any formation that has 4 defenders. I find 45 to be the perfect amount. And then your build-up play is going to be balanced with chance creation passing, or direct passing to be exact. And the reason why I say that is because every single formation I have, balance and direct passing is the best combination to have. I have 56 width specifically because I've been fine-tuning it a little bit, and I found 56 to be my favorite. You want this formation to be more wide because this formation is going to have a lot of through ball opportunities and things like that, so you'll have a lot of chances to beat your fullbacks. So you want to really take advantage of the width on the pitch. So 56 I found was a perfect amount for that. 5 players in the box because you're only going to need 5 players to attack, and then corners and free kicks, your choice. Before I go on and show you guys the instructions, I wanted to say that we're on the road to 10K subscribers, and as you can see right here, 91% of viewers on this channel are not subscribed. So 10K soon would be very possible and highly appreciated. I also want to take a moment to mention my Discord server. We're building a community for FIFA content where you can find discussions for squad building, tactics, daily content, or anything FIFA related. You can find the link for that in the bio. When it comes to instructions, both your strikers are going to be on stay central and get behind, but you're going to have one on stay forward and the other one on basic defense support. The one that you would want to be on basic defense support is the one that you feel like you would want to play like a cam position, basically. To be more specific, the player with better dribbling, maybe less pace, basically characteristics that you would want the player to come a little bit more short for the ball. The reason why we have this is because we still want a player that isn't right next to this guy, because there'd be no point. If this guy is already getting forward and challenging the defensive line, you're not going to need the second player to do the exact same thing. You're going to want another player to be a little bit more behind. That way he's able to get the ball at his feet. Now, with basic defense support, he's still obviously going to be making those through runs with that getting behind, but he's going to be doing it from a little bit more shorter. So that way, when this guy's making a run, let's say the other team's noticing that your striker's making a run and they go to block this guy, the moment he moves his defense to block this guy, the other guy right here is going to be making a little bit more of a delayed run, and it's going to be a little bit more delayed primarily because he was in a lower position the whole time. But he's still going to make that through run, and you're still going to have a second opportunity to get a through ball in when this guy's being contested. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're playing, obviously. Your wingers, both of them are going to be on basic defense support, cut inside, get behind, get into the box for cross. That's a lot of instructions, but with basic defense support, they still drop back very well, especially if they have medium or high defensive work rates. But I don't want them to be on come back because that's going to be way too defensive. And then the cut behind or cut inside, getting behind, you're going to notice that when you get the ball, you'll notice that there's going to be specific times once they try to run, they're going to go inside of the other team's defense in between their center back and their fullback. And you want that primarily because if you can get that through ball to them, that's basically a free goal because you can beat the center back in pace, or you can pass the striker for an easy tap in. These are like free goals basically if you can just find the windows for the passes. And then your defense, your fullbacks, both of them are going to be on stay back while attacking overlap. And the reason why I say overlap is because they're not actually going to overlap. However, if you use overlap, it's going to fundamentally keep them as wide as possible, and then they're not going to go into the midfield or do anything unnecessary. You want them to be right next to the center backs at all the time because that's all you really need them to do. And then your two midfielders, one of them is going to be on balanced attack, get into the box for cross, cover center, and the other one's going to be stay back while attacking, cover center with balanced crossing runs. Now, this get into the box for cross is much different now, and I would be very careful when you use this. If you're not sure if you want to use this or not, I would highly recommend you leave it on balanced. However, if you have a player with really good attacking stats here, that could be really useful in the box. I would try get into the box for cross because he's not necessarily going to run into the box every single time. Rather, with balanced attack, when he does make those runs, you're gonna notice that he's gonna go straight into the box and basically act as a number 10 for that possession. So it's not like with getting to the box for cross, his frequency of attacks is going to increase. Rather, it's just when he does decide to attack, he's going to attack all the way. Now, I'd be a little bit more careful, like I said, with this. It depends what type of player you have right here in this position. Zico is basically a cam, so that's why I'm doing it. However, if you have like a more well-rounded player like a Bellingham or a Zidane or whatever, I would keep him on balanced crossing runs. But if you have a player that's a number 10, player with really good attacking stats and his defending stats aren't really that good anyways, getting to the box for cross is going to be good. But I would be very careful because this might open you up to counterattacks really a lot more often. Because when you lose the ball, you're going to have a lot of players that are still up the pitch. And then your other player, stay back while attacking, cover center. This is just going to be your CDM. Nothing more complicated really. It's really just a player that you can trust to get the ball and also pass the ball really well. And then your two center backs, obviously untouched, and then your keeper, you can try comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. Some things to keep in mind with this formation is that this formation is probably one of the best when it comes to defending, primarily because the structure within a 4-4-2 is one of the best ways to defend in FIFA. If you've realized that with other formations like the 4-3-2-1 or the 4-3-3, fundamentals to defending on those formations is to structure the defense to operate in a 4-4-2 with having players come back on defense. This is because the 4-4-2 is one of the best ways to defend. You're going to have a wall of 8 players defending, so that's going to be a really big hassle to try and break down, really. So if you're looking for a formation that can really soak the pressure and allow the other team to attack, and then once you win the ball back, you'll have a lot of opportunities to make runs forward and get a really good attack going. It's one of the best formations for that. It's one of the best formations for counterattacking. And when it comes to counterattacking, I did mention this earlier, but I want you guys, when you make those attacks, I want you guys to be really patient with noticing your runs. When I look at gameplay clips of when I played with this formation, I notice that I'm seeing a lot of runs that I'm not even noticing, but I'm seeing a lot of runs that penetrate the other team's defense, and I don't even notice them, and I don't make the pass, but I could have made the pass and scored. If you have players like Mbappe or even that Haaland with really fast play styles, with the rapid play style or just really high pace to begin with, you'll notice that they're going to make a lot of insane runs. And you'll notice that a huge tip that I can give you is that when the other team notices that your player is making a run and he goes to mark that player, you don't have to make a through into that player because you're going to have 4 players making runs in behind. So when he goes to mark one player in the through ball situation, you need to immediately look for another player because there's going to be another player that's making a run as well. When he's trying to defend against one, he's going to be dragging a center back out of the position and everything. Boom, you're going to have a perfect opportunity to get a through ball in with another player. So keep that in mind when you're attacking. Be very proactive with noticing your through balls and your runs, and you'll notice that this formation, you're just going to get through balls like crazy and crazy. Now, this isn't to say that this formation is only good with through balls. With its width, you'll notice that you'll have a lot of opportunities to pass the ball around, especially switching the pitch. And since once you get into the other team's box, you're gonna have 4 players as options, so you're not really gonna have issues trying to find a player to pass to, especially with that 5th player being your center mid. You'll notice that if you can pass the ball around and if you have basic skills of breaking down the other team with good passes, you're not going to struggle in terms of getting shots in or just getting past the other team's defense to begin with. I would absolutely recommend this formation if you have a lot of pacey attackers and you love making runs for them or through balls for them. And I would also recommend this formation if you just like to play counterattacking. If you're not a fan of holding the ball for too long, if you just want to make risky runs, you like to play aggressively. And also if you're a really good defender, because this formation does fundamentally expect you to not have the ball as much because you don't really need it as much. A lot of the goals you score are going to be goals you score really, really fast. So like I said, this formation is still good in the build-up, but you'll notice most of your goals are just going to be from counterattacks. So if you're really good in counterattacking situations, I would absolutely recommend this formation. This is a formation that I keep in my list of formations during weekend league. So if I'm playing against a team that's really attacking me well and they love playing slow and they're not giving me many chances, I'll just take this formation because once I get the ball from deep, I'm gonna be really confident with through runs that I won't have to worry about not getting the ball enough because all I need is an inch to attack and it's over for them, in my opinion. And yeah, if you guys liked this video, if you guys found this formation to be really helpful, if you found it to really improve your gameplay, or if you just like the formation to begin with, or any of my other formations for what it's worth, then go ahead and drop a like, subscribe, and also feel free to drop a comment down below and I'll be able to answer it as soon as I can. And with that being said, that's all.